Hello, beautiful people. We are back. Happy Monday, September 22nd. Just making sure that we are good to go over here on Facebook Live, which we are. Thanks to Justin Jarrett from Loco Sports. As always, this is a Loco Media production. Thanks for the colorful new intro from Justin. And we're going to get right to it. So today we're going to do something that's a lot of fun. I was fortunate enough several weeks ago to go on a little field trip to St. Helena Island, where I visited with who has become quickly become a friend of mine. Really enjoyed the time that I got to spend with her. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce everyone to Selma Davis from New Leaf Produce.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you again.
It's great to see you. So we got the farmers in her overalls, just coming from the all the action over there at New Leaf, which was
It's never a dull moment, man. I might have some dirt on me.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I like it. She said before, and she said, I look like a farmer. I said, you are a farmer. That's perfect. Let's get right into it. Yeah. So this was as much fun as I have gotten to spend with someone in quite some time. This endeavor has taken me on a few adventures just already in the, several months or so that I've been doing this podcast, the Indulgent Hour, as we're calling it. I just realized I need to change my little logo up in the top here so that I can get a little more color in the situation. So I'm going to play around with that, but I want to get right into it because number one, I really had a lot of fun, not just once I got there, but just that drive, as they call it. What was it? Land's End?
It's Land's End Road. Yeah.
I mean, it literally looks like you are heading to Land's End legitimately. It was one of the most beautiful rides.
Place. It is. It really is. It's a hidden gem out here.
Absolutely. And that's what I always say. We are extremely lucky to live in such a beautiful place. I'm over here in Bluffton, but I like to take a ride out there quite a bit, over to the Sea Islands, if you will. And I really, I always enjoyed the drive, but I wasn't expecting as I go to share my screen here. I'm going to swap the logo out. Look at that nice bright color logo.
Oh, look how fast you are. Ask and you shall receive.
Not too bad on the fly. That was bothering me.
I'm gonna swat the gnats for a little bit because
that's okay. And we did that quite a bit when I was out there.
Beautiful as it is, I mean, there's a special kind of torment out here in the woods.
Absolutely. And you really are. I mean, and that's what I want to start with. So this was my view. And I knew that was going to be like slightly inconspicuous, but Catherine kind of gave me a heads up. Catherine's your marketing specialist, handles all the social media stuff and everything like that. So you had given me some directions. You dropped me a pin, and this is what I saw as I was driving in. So I kind of chronicled this, and we're going to take people basically on this tour with us. As I'm just going to remove this for 1 second so that I make sure that I'm going, in the right direction, so to speak. With these photos, this is already
my husband just cranked up the tractor, so if you hear some real farm noise,
that's okay.
He's getting on it today.
No worries. So I want to show people, and we're gonna so we're going the right direction here. So I want to show people. This is not what I expected. So I knew two things. I knew vertical and I knew farm, and I had been somewhat familiar with the concept of vertical growing, but I was blown away by this from the very start. When I pull into the down the driveway and I see this shipping container that's just dropped right there on the property. So before we get into all the nuts and bolts and how everything works, why don't you share with everybody, kind of how this came about, because you've been a local for quite some time and this is a newer sort of venture for you. So why don't you share with the audience how this came about with New Leaf Produce?
Well, prior to this second career choice of farming, I was in public education in Beaufort County for quite a while, for about 25 years. And, my last position was as a high school guidance counselor, and I was always struggling to connect to my clientele, striving, not struggling. And so I thought I could do that through TikTok and, just have some cool conversations about what they were seeing. I think I was the last person in the school to put it on my phone. But in scrolling through TikTok, I came across a video, an ad from this company that I purchased this container farm from. 30-second ad showed the nuts and bolts of, how initially easy it appears to do this. It was a father and a daughter, and it just spoke to me. And they said, if these two can do it, so can you. So I got the name of the company from that ad, reached out, immediately hooked up with, a salesperson, an expert, that not only walked me through the decision making to purchase this farm, but really walked with me through setting up a business plan so that I could make it happen. So I guess I say all that to say it wasn't like I got somebody on the phone that just sold me this container. I got someone on the phone that helped me develop a business so that it would make sense for me to buy this container. And that was in 2021 when those initial conversations were happening. By December of 21, I knew that this was what I was going to do. And I signed on the dotted line, bought the farm. And this container that you showed that picture of was delivered here in Beaufort in April of 22, came on the back of a tractor trailer. That was probably one of the most exciting moments I've had in my life, seeing that come down that road that you had that picture of, and actually placed on this property. I will go back a little bit. My personality lends itself to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. So the first place I tried to drop that container farm was in the city of Beaufort, and the powers that be didn't like that too much. So I got initially a little pushback. And so that caused me, again, as we're speaking of pivots, to pivot again. And I have a dear friend that's in real estate, and he had this farmland listed. And so we walked this property one time. I knew it was where that container needed to be. So we actually purchased this 10-acre parcel out here on St. Helena just to move that container from the spot where it was in town, where it was unplugged. Right. But, you and I were just talking a little bit earlier, a door opens and, one door closes and five doors open.
Sure.
So it was a blessing that I couldn't even see how great it was going to be out here on St. Helena. So that's a little bit about how I came to learn about this particular piece of equipment. I mean, I've always been a backyard gardener, planting far too many plants to support, my family. I've always been sharing tomatoes and herbs and things that, I was growing out of my backyard, but I definitely scaled it up with this. So that's kind of where we are in terms of getting that container out here to St. Helena. I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know then. I might have been a little naive, thinking I can pull this off with the sweet volunteers that I have, my husband once a week and myself. But 3 years in, and I'm still going.
You are. You scaled it up big time. You are still
Did.
going. You've had a lot of help. It takes a village, as they always say, and you've
Yeah.
got a lot of volunteers. A lot of the ladies over there that want to keep themselves busy and have
The
kind of
lettuce
pitched in.
ladies is what I call them.
That's it. I love it. We got to
The
get some
little
lettuce ladies merchandise. Maybe some lettuce ladies t-shirts and hats. What do you
Oh,
think
that'd
about
be
that?
cool. Yeah,
Would
for
be fun,
sure.
right?
Look at what we come up with. The lettuce
Absolutely.
ladies. Oh, that just
Very
give me a
cool.
minute. I'll get that too.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
shall we step inside the container?
Oh, I'd
Okay.
love
No,
that.
no. I'm saying on my photos. You don't have
I'll
to take
stay
it.
right here.
But maybe we will do that towards
Yep.
the end. But let's
Yep.
for the audience. I think it'll be better for them from a visual
Very
perspective
cool. Let's
if we
go.
take them through. So here we go. So let me just click on the right thing here. Okay, so we are now inside the container, right?
Yep.
This is when
Yep.
I first walked in, and what everybody's seeing here, this is where the process starts. So
Sure thing.
before these lettuces and greens and all these beautiful things that we're going to be showing you, that I was actually able to eat some of them later that same day, and we'll talk about that because, of course, this is a food podcast. But we are going seed to table here.
Seed
So
to
tell
table,
us,
man.
yes, so
Well,
tell the
that's where
audience
all the
about where
seeds
this starts.
start. Yep.
Yes.
So we call that the nursery area. So what you see there, those lights are, I have a 15-foot grow table times 2.
Right.
So, So on top, we have all the trays that we fill with those little pods. They each have a little hole in them. So the first step in this process is to fill these trays. They hold 288 of these pods. And then we have to figure out how many of each plant that we want, because I seed to order.
Right.
I have limited space. Everything in my farm is a 6-week turnaround. And so, I mean, there's such a thing as farm economics. Real estate is valuable in there. So we really count it out to the individual plant. But I have 3, I think I see 3 trays up top. Each one of those little tags, those plant tags, are telling us what we're going to plant there. My volunteers help me get the seeds in each of those holes. So I do the planning. I kind of lay it out for them, and they come and put each hole in each one of those little pods. And then below where you see those grow lights, those trays live in there for 3 weeks. That watering system is ebb and flow. It's all set on really technical timers. It's kind of a fix it and a forget it, although I monitor it constantly because things happen. And boy, for something to happen in the nursery 6 weeks later, you feel that pain point. So 3 weeks in that nursery, it's an ebb and flow system. I have automatic dosers that, dose the water that waters those seedlings just to the right amount. Everything is dialed in. And once we finish with that process, we then go on to the next step, which is to transplant each one of those little seeds, those little grow pods. I plant about 1,440 seeds per week. Those grow pods I do get locally. I patronize a hydroponic store down in Savannah. Got a great relationship with them. They see me about every 3.5 weeks. I drive down, get a giant box of those grow plugs. And when we start the process, I got to go down to Savannah this week because we are out. So that was the nursery. That's where the babies grow.
And as you said, this is, and we're going to get into a little bit more of the gadgets and the automation as well. So as Selma said, this is all automated. It really is quite an impressive setup once you're inside, and obviously all temperature controlled and
Sure
everything
is.
like that. And then this is what you see after you move in. So here we have, and there's, we're going to take them through several photos. As we see, we have these columns, which are basically, there's a number of these panels, and basically we have, for within each of these panels, we have these channels, and this is where we're moving those seeds over into these channels, which is where these lettuces and all these greens are going to grow.
Exactly.
And part of the reason how they're going to grow is because we have a system, an irrigation system, I guess, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
These are going to be, constantly watered. And as you had mentioned when I was there, sometimes these can be, and this is when you see, these are what the panels look like when they're side by side. Sometimes, and we see this is towards the back where you have the filters and everything like that set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as things can happen, as people know, with their shower heads and things like that, like you said, it's all automated, but the stuff needs to be constantly
Constantly
monitored,
monitored.
because if
Yes.
you get a clog in one of these, and then you're starting to notice that deeper down in the column, the water is not getting everywhere that it needs to go, because there
That's
might
right.
be one of these nozzles that needs to be replaced. So there's a
That's right.
constant monitoring that has to happen here, right? I didn't
Yeah,
realize
it's
this, as
daily.
I forgot to put this back on. This is why I'm not a producer. This is why I'm a podcaster. So
Oh,
I
very
was telling
cool.
people,
Yeah,
I was taking people through the photos without showing them to them. So here's the
that's it.
panels that we said here. I apologize for guys for that. I guess I didn't have enough coffee this morning. Here's one of the number of panels that we have. Here's what the
Yep.
channel is, where the seeds
Yep.
go. And then, of course, we have this this irrigation system, and this is where the water
Yeah.
is coming from the top. And then, of course, these are what the panels look like side by side when they're pushed together. And then we
Yeah.
have, this whole system of
Our water
filtration.
filtration. That's right.
It's really incredible, the whole setup. So I'm gonna come back here. You want to talk a little bit more about,
Sure.
because like I said, there's a total of how many of these panels just on the
Well,
one container?
there's 88 panels in the farm, and the
It's
farm is
incredible.
divided into two separate grow walls that
Right.
have two sides with 22 panels on each side. So one wall holds 44, the other holds 44. But that's the crux of the whole operation right there, that irrigation system up top with those little emitters. So those emitters, yeah, everything is dialed in. That's a 2-gallon per minute emitter. And they draw water up through that closed loop irrigation system. All of this is set on timers. And when they water for 20 minutes. That water runs through that wicking system, and that foam system that holds the plants in comes out of the bottom, goes down to a trough, back into the cultivation tank. So the water is constantly recycled. It is closed loop. That back there has really been a game changer. That's a pretty state-of-the-art reverse osmosis system. And that has helped us immensely, because we use well water out here. And there are a lot of dissolved nutrients, minerals in that water that were causing precipitation, which is basically like a salt buildup in those emitters. And in combination with the hydroponic nutrients I was using and my well water minerals, I was getting a lot of clogging. So that reverse osmosis system not only is giving us pure water, but there's no total dissolved solids in it. And it's been a game changer for this farm. There's my husband in the back. I mean, I called him a bull in a china shop the other day, but
this is what goes on in a farm. We're seeing it live in action.
Stirring up the dirt today. So, so those panels hold on the lettuce wall. I have about 350 lettuce heads per week. I plant, I seed, and then I transplant. And hopefully when everything's working right, I'm selling 350 heads of lettuce. That's the Monte Carlo romaine that I grow specifically for locals raw bar. So, I mean, that just kind of gives you an idea of how the data points that we use in the farm. We've seed it. 3 weeks later, we transplant it. 4 weeks later, we harvest it. And then we repeat that cycle.
It's on a very specific cycle.
It sure
people
is.
would imagine, sometimes there's wear and tear with this foam and things like that, because that can erode.
Yeah.
There are some, we could say there are some technological advances, but we're gonna keep that buttoned up, because we have some proprietary technology that we're working with.
Yeah.
So I was very paid very close attention to what I was going to be photographing and what I wasn't going to be photographing, and those are things
we're trialing some cool ways to plant in there right now. The operational data is favorable, but I mean, we're going to keep collecting it. I see good things happening, but you're right. You're right. Everything does have a life, it's got a life expectancy. I mean, I bought this farm in 21. I planted seeds in 22. No, I didn't plant my first seed until 23. So it will be 3 years this coming up spring. But I mean, yeah, we got to replace a lot of the components in here just for plant health and, operational safety. So, yeah, those are some of the culinary herbs we grow.
It's a sight to behold for sure. As you mentioned,
That's cool
you
to
have this
look at it.
tagging system that tells you, the seed date and then when the date was planted. And then some of
Yeah.
these are regrowable where you can
Yes.
go through 2 whole cycles with them. Some of them, it's just 1 cycle and then you're going to replace that.
Yeah,
We
that's
have,
cool that you brought that up. So for example, the lettuce, we pull a whole plant. It comes with a root ball. It's a living plant actually when we sell it to our customers. And I had some folks come to the market this weekend to tell me that not only do they cut the lettuce and eat it, they replant that plug and they can regrow that lettuce at home, which is very impressive to me. I mean, we've always been we know we can get something from the grocery store, cut that celery off and regrow that celery stalk just from that root. But I've got some pretty conscientious customers that do that for themselves. But all the herbs are cut and come again. I can cut them twice before I have to replant that plant. Increases our yield per panel in this farm. Farm economics is a big deal. Still
it's a
wrapping
very
my
big
head
deal.
around that.
It's a very big deal. And while we're talking about that, you brought up something. So I want to bring up the Facebook page here because you brought up something that I really would like people to know about. There's Selma messing around with some of this produce on there and
Yeah.
always constantly adjusting and things like that. So you mentioned the farm market. So I want to
Yeah.
take people to this is something that you guys do almost every weekend.
Correct. I really
And
look forward to it, actually. It's the highlight of my week, having people come down that road and to this farm to buy clean green produce from me. I mean, it's a big deal. It's not just around the corner for a lot of people, and making that trek out here speaks volumes about what I'm doing and the value that people see. So come on out to the farm on every Saturday morning. We have a pop-up market out here. We're going to add some new vendors coming up closer to the holidays, but right now you just get me. So
I love
you
it.
can get a little bit of
I love it.
everything.
If
Thank you
anybody
for
wants
bringing
to
that
check
up.
that out, yeah, of course. If anybody wants to check that out, again, Saturday is 9 a.m. to noon, 119 Scott Hill Road on St. Helena. So
Yeah, come on down the road.
let's head back into the container now. So we have some, as Selma mentioned, we have some lettuces. I was really interested in some of the more exotic stuff. I think we had some arugula.
That arugula is a hot ticket. That's
Yes.
it's a red streaks. The actual seed name is Nemesis. I think that's pretty cool. We source our seeds from some pretty reputable national seed sellers. I use predominantly Johnny's Seed. They're based in Maine. But that arugula is a big hit. While I try to keep everything hyper local, that's a 10 to 15 mile radius of this farm delivery to the consumer, whether it's a business or a direct to a retail customer. That's a hyper local delivery. We harvest on the day that it is actually delivered to the consumer. But I will tell you, I have a buddy in Charleston who's got this same setup. And I drive halfway to Charleston. We meet at the gas station in Jacksonboro. And it looks like we do some shady stuff in that parking lot. But I swear to you, I'm just slinging arugula. I met him yesterday. So my product is making it, way to go, Hamilton, into some of the finest restaurants in Charleston.
We were having a good chuckle about that. It's as if you're meeting somebody in the gas station parking lot. It looks like you're trading or bartering in contraband. But at the end of the
No,
day,
no.
this isn't the devil's lettuce, folks. This is the
No.
lettuce. This is the farm lettuce, if you will.
I am driving that arugula
I
halfway to
picture you.
Charleston.
I picture you in like the Cheech and Chong when they made the entire truck,
Yeah,
except you got an entire truck that's made of arugula and
arugula.
romaine lettuce and some of this
Yes.
crazy stuff that you showed me, some of
Yeah,
these exotic things and things like
yeah,
that. What was this
yeah.
one again? This one that
That
looked like
that is bronze fennel. It's an anise flavored herb. It's great in salads. My mother used to bake with it. It's
right,
awesome in vinaigrettes, but it's a beautiful plate garnish. So
absolutely
I grow
beautiful.
that for garnishes for Locals Raw Bar here for Chef Hunter.
And we're going to get to that. Chef Hunter is one of my favorites. This is kind of a little
Me
bit of a
too.
snapshot about
That's the
this is
dashboard, man.
this is your panel where you're looking at all the nutrient levels and
Yeah,
the trough levels and
yeah,
cultivation
yeah,
depth, cultivation tank depth, current level,
yeah.
all this crazy stuff. You had mentioned to me that there was an interesting. I want to get into the lights because this was like a laser light show when we moved on from this.
It's very
But
cool.
it presents a challenge because we've had some of these instances where we've had bad storms, right? And I remember
Yeah,
that you mentioned to me that when the power's out, the power's out. You lost quite a bit of crops just when
I
those
did.
couple of days where you had no power, right?
We were without power for 3 days out here on this part of the island last year for Hurricane Helene, but I got a generator hooked up this year. And I'm cool with hurricane season being so quiet, but I'm ready. That bad boy is hooked up. I will not have to be without power in this farm or with this, connected to well water. You don't have electricity, you don't have a lot. So
Right.
I'm hooked up. That took me 3 years to get that done, but good things come to those who wait. So
Absolutely.
bring it. I'm ready.
I'm banking on it, Selma. I'm banking on it.
Thanks.
So for you and me alike. So
You're
let's
right.
get back to the color. So for those of you who don't understand, let me take them through some of these photos. Explain to people, because obviously they're like, well, wait a minute, how are you growing plants inside an airtight shipping container? Well,
Right.
this is how. This is the light, in lieu of direct
Of the
sunlight.
sun.
This is the light that is growing these plants. Tell them about this
I tell
technology.
you, it makes the coolest pictures, doesn't it?
It really does.
We've got, it's going to be 2 per panel. So we've got like 170 of these LED light panels inside that only emit blue and red light, the blue and red parts of the spectrum, because there's some components of this farm that are very efficient, and one of it is the lighting. Plants only need the red and blue parts of the spectrum for their processes. So we don't bother with any of the colors. So inside, when the farm is running, daytime in the farm is actually nighttime for me. Those lights kick on at 4:30 every day and turn off at 10:30 in the morning. The plants absorb all of that light energy, so they actually look black. I mean, a really, really, really deep green when the lights are on, because they're absorbing all of that energy. Outside, plants look green because they're actually reflecting the parts of the spectrum that they don't require. So that is not an inexpensive way to grow, but it is a consistent way to grow. And I can grow 365 days a year, regardless of outside environmentals, as well as temperature. I mean, that container, I've bumped up the temperature a little bit. My mother would be proud. I raised the thermostat because the light bill was a little too high. I'm at the highest part of my window. It's a constant 70 degrees inside, about 64% humidity.
Right. It really is a cool spot, literally and figuratively a cool spot.
Legit.
We came back out after we kind of shined a little bit more light on the seedlings, and you kind of took me through all the different categories and the different stages. Obviously, you see down towards the bottom, those are starting to grow, and then you got the ones over on the second shelf here that are really starting to
ready to go on the wall.
They're ready to go.
Yep.
I love it. And
Yeah.
then this was all like we said, tied into the automation. We're going to step outside the container for a
Yeah.
second. So we have some stuff and some plants over on the side here. We said we have some plants that are planted. We do have some outdoor plants, folks. Not everything is
Yeah.
inside the container, but we got some stuff outside.
It's because I want to grow so much. Back to those
Right.
farm economics. For example, in order to pull off the arugula yield that I am currently moving weekly, I have to devote 21 panels inside of that farm. So essentially a fourth of my farm is just set up for arugula production. But I have a hard time saying no. So I continue to plant seeds of things that I want to grow that I know chefs might like. While it's not hydroponic, I do have it. And that was a couple months ago. That's really filled out now. Since the hot weather is, the real hot weather is past, everything is thriving. So I grow some things that I know people want in their kitchens, but I don't necessarily have the space for it inside. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
we got some plants out here. Obviously, we see got the tractor there. We got the current, at least for the moment, we have the current residents. But let's talk about how we're going to have some expansion over here. You see, we got more things planted over here, and back towards the left, we have
this giant storage barn that we've built. That's a
beautiful barn.
Let me tell you what, that's a labor of love right there.
Right.
We've got, I think we're probably 3 weeks away from being able to move some stuff in that barn, which I call it shifting to the left. It's once we're able to get stuff in that barn, then I can clear up some stuff that's in this adjacent building next to my farm, and I can put packaging operations. I can take it out of the farm and put it into this new building that we have. And actually have a farm office, so I'm not carrying everything around in a bag. But those raised beds have really sprouted. I'm trialing some things for Sister a New Deli that's opening here in Beaufort. I've got some new things growing in the farm for them. But that garden there, we're going to double it in size. It's about 3,800 square feet, and we're going to probably add that much more to it next spring. I'm going to plant flowers. I'm just going to plant flowers. They're too beautiful. I've got some places that have asked for them. And I personally have found flowers are a little bit more forgiving than growing crops. I can only spread myself so thin. I can't keep this running and handle an outdoor garden, but next spring, I'm going to plant some flowers, have some cut and come agains out there.
So
too.
I just want to chime in there because I think it's possible that you might be able to get a little bit more done. I got to be honest. When I was over there, I observed something. There's a little bit of inefficiency.
Let me hear it.
Talk to us about your assistant who was just kind of laying around, the whole time that we were there. He was just kind of lounging. He was looking around. He was waiting for his friend to come over.
Oh, he's had his friends over today.
About your buddy here.
I tell you, that dog. I spend. His name is Griffin. We call him Griff. Sometimes we call him Griffalo. But I'm here. I work for myself, and I'm here by myself a lot. I needed a sidekick. I've got some people in my life that have little sidekick dogs, and I was a little jealous. They would show up and here's this little boy in their arm or a little girl. And I found him at a rescue in Goose Creek. And my husband told me I couldn't have a dog until we actually got a home out here and not be in this camper. But he was busy. It was Masters Sunday last year. He was all on the TV, and I got in my car and I drove to Goose Creek, and I came back with a dog. So I tell you, he's the welcoming committee out here. So
he really is.
Yeah, he doesn't do much. He's
kind of hanging out. He's kind of hanging out. He followed us in. He chilled out in his bed in the corner there.
That's right.
While we were inside.
But he's good.
Very good. And then when we walked over to the barn,
He
And
came right on in.
he came right on out because one of his friends came over, and you called it. You
Right.
said as soon as he sees that his friend's here, he's going to come running. And we were calling him and calling him, and then as soon as he looked over from a distance, and he was like, "I'm not going to pay attention to either of them, but oh, now my friend's here."
Now my
and
friend is here.
And he
He
put a little hop in his step, and they were very excited to say hello.
Yeah.
So let's just go. I want to come back. I got a couple more here.
Yeah. Let me see
so
what
we
you got.
This is part of this is part of the pump system that you got, right?
Yeah, I've really, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised at the capacity for learning new things that I still have. Looking at it, it was so foreign to me. Diving in, it makes complete sense. That's a water pressure driven dosing system. So above that are the reservoirs for all the nutrients and my pH down. That is all controlled by an onboard computer, and those pumps kick on when these sensors tell it that the nutrient level has dropped below a threshold.
Right.
And when it works, it's a beautiful thing. When it doesn't work, I am measuring and hand dosing, and I have some handheld meters that tell me what the pH and the electroconductivity of the solutions are. So not only have I learned how it works, how to repair it, I've learned how to do it by myself when the system doesn't work. So
very cool.
I've been keeping things alive now, coming up on 3 years.
You're doing great work over there.
Thanks.
I thought this was kind of cool too. I will. You know, I'm going to keep that coming.
Please.
Keep that positivity coming. So we had. I thought this was kind of cool. This is your friend from King Tide Farms, hydroponics.
Yeah, that's who I meet halfway to Charleston to sling produce in the parking lot of the gas
That's
station.
who you were talking about before. He's got this, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle inspired logo, which I thought was very cool. It's on the top of a sewer. For those of you who are not Turtles fans, the turtles hang out in the sewers. So he's got the sewer cap logo, which I thought was very cool. And to steal from the Turtle Power, to steal from one of my favorites, Paul Rudd. Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought? I love that little meme from when he's sitting there doing hot ones when he's eating wings with that guy. He says, "Hey, look at us. Look at us." Who would have thought?
Look, I have the same overalls. I could have put on a different pair.
Hey, you mixed it up. You got a different color underneath. Listen, I'm not wearing another wrestling t-shirt, but I'm wearing my this is my All the Smoke t-shirt from a podcast of a very dear friend of mine, where they like to they're former basketball players that like to indulge in some herbs themselves, and this is one of the most popular.
We don't grow those here.
Yeah, no, I know. Even though you're hanging out and meeting people in parking lots and acting like everything's this secret shady operation, but it's actually it's one of the most popular podcast that's out there for those of you who are sports fans. But no, like Selma said, it is kind of funny to be meeting with someone in a place like I said, a gas station or something like that, and they're trading lettuces and things like that. But your partnership with King Tide has opened a lot of doors for you. Up that way.
Yes. I mean, in addition, so I think the best part of this endeavor, as you will call it, is the people that I'm meeting. You and Hamilton and the lettuce ladies and the people that drive down the road every Saturday. It's really, I mean, that is what has been the best part of all of this. Just the people that I meet. I talk to Hamilton, the dude from King Tide Farms, 2 or 3 times a day. My children I had my children say, "Don't talk to Hamilton today. Take a break. Don't go farming." But I mean, I might not make it in this container, but I don't make many days where I don't talk to Hamilton, because we're planning 6 weeks and 12 weeks ahead. Charleston Food and Wine Week is coming up in November. We are already planning.
I love it. You got to plan. You got to be a good planner.
We are planning. That's right.
So on my way out of there,
work your plan.
That's it. Plan to work to plan. That's the best way to do it. On my way out, I just had to share this because this was my of course the name's escaping me. This was my castaway moment after you and I met, and I went to pull out. And my favorite thing about that, Yeah, exactly. One of the best parts to me is the end of that movie when he delivers the one package that he was able to salvage that he never opened that had that beautiful butterfly design on it, and he
Yes.
delivers it to the woman who's actually she passed away a couple of years ago, which I thought was really
Yep.
sad.
Yep.
That actress, but he comes and he gets to this crossroads, and he's just standing there, and that's where the movie ends, and it's like, which direction am I going to go in? It was a very introspective day for me, to and from the farm, and definitely you are and you are and continue to be a true inspiration for me. You and I had some great conversations just in the couple of hours that I was there.
I agree. That was awesome, wasn't it? That was a
It
great
really
day.
was. It really absolutely was. And I'm definitely going to come back because we're going to have some more stuff that we're going to want to talk about as we come, because you got a lot of stuff that's good plan. We dropped a little bit of a hint before. So we're going to be coming back to you pretty soon. And I'm going to let you go in a couple minutes because I know you got work to do. But I want to share people.
Doesn't that look delicious?
This was the Poke Bowl. You mentioned Locals Raw Bar. So I'll be honest. I first stopped at Beto's because I had to have a burger. The burger of the day was the chili cheeseburger. So I wasn't eating any Selma's greens on that one. But but at Beto's, if you do want to indulge in any of the salads or any of the things, and you're not feeling like you want to have, let me just rejigger my camera here. You're not feeling like you want to have, a burger or some wings or some things like that. You can find Selma's greens at you can find New Leaf Produce product at Beto's. And of course, this is Locals Raw Bar, which was one of my favorite restaurants, which is, again, Beto's is on St. Helena. Locals is on the way back in Ladies Island, which is right over the bridge from downtown Beaufort. This poke bowl over Selma, I usually like to just kind of pixnay the rice, and I like to go with greens. This poke bowl was absolutely delicious. And I'm going to take this. I mean, the people are probably drooling, mouth watering over looking at this beautiful poke bowl. I sent you a picture of it later in the day after I enjoyed that. I brought that. I had the burger for lunch, among a few other bites of things. And then I ended up, this was my dinner when I came home later that day. And you were very excited to see that. So, I just want to touch on the fact, and I think this is probably the most important takeaway from this. I live over here in Bluffton. I do most of my grocery shopping at Publix because it's right down the street, May River Crossing. And what I said to Selma that day was, and I'm not surprised at all, because this is why people look to local purveyors and local farmers and local providers of this stuff. That's all I can tell you, folks, is that once you've taken a bite of well, I think it was the romaine that they use in that, Selma?
Monte Carlo romaine. Yeah.
Once you've taken a bite of that Monte Carlo romaine, whether it's in a salad, whether it's on a sandwich, whether it's in a poke bowl, or whether you just want to raw dog it, for lack of a better term, and just take a nice big bite of lettuce, do whatever it is that pleases you. But let me tell you, you have not experience until you experience, I don't know why this camera's getting a little finicky on me, but until you've experienced what this stuff tastes like when you are having it fresh from a hydroponic farm like Selma's, I'm telling you, folks, you guys do not know what you're missing. And again, it's nothing against Publix. It's nothing against Crow. I mean, we all need to get our groceries wherever they go. But it's a different product.
It's a different product. And I think everybody needs to try it just to see. It's clean, it's green, it's day of harvest in your mouth. I'm not going to brag, but you're not the only person that said that about the romaine. It's the texture of the lettuce that kind of sets it apart. And it actually has a flavor. Someone this weekend said it's not just a vessel for the salad dressing. It brings something to the party.
1000% brings another element of flavor. I also and before I let you go, we're just gonna do a little lightning round here because Kate sent me some really, really nice photos from your press kits and everything like that. So I'm gonna bring that on stage here because I want to give her some love. She's really been incredible, not just first reaching out to me to connect the two of us, but being super supportive all the way throughout. She wasn't able to be there that day when I visited with you guys, so we're definitely gonna have to when I come back out there, we're definitely maybe all three of us will get to lunch together for lunch or something like that so that we can catch up. So I just want to kind of take people very quickly through. Again, we got some beautiful lettuces here. Look at that tomato. What is that, like an heirloom tomato? Tasmanian chocolate tomato is the title. Is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
That is
That's
mouth
real.
watering. That makes me want to have a Mater sandwich. And I'm a meat guy. I like meat on my
Oh,
sandwiches, but I got a friend up in Roanoke, the Hungry Asian, otherwise known as the Scallion King, the Wing King. His name's John Park. He
yeah.
was doing a lot of and he comes to your area quite a bit. He was doing a lot of tomato sandwiches this summer, and he's kind of making me jealous. Tomato with that Duke's mayo. What, we got
There's
some
nothing better.
radishes here.
Yeah, those are beautiful. I grow one kind of radish. I mean, I've tried them all, but that one is just beautiful. That's called Rover.
Rover.
Yeah.
Looks
Let's
like it's
see.
nice. I just want to kind of take a bite out of that like an apple. We got
Yeah.
some more greens here.
Yeah, I think those are radishes as well. Let's see
Nice,
what else she's got.
before they're starting to pop out.
That's
There you
right.
are again with that beautiful logo that you have,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I need to get myself. I know you gave me a sticker or two of some other stuff. I need to get myself some of that New Leaf produce swag as
I
well.
got it. I
And then we
got it.
have
We're
you here
getting
with
some new things in. Oh yeah, those were the original New Leaf hats.
very
They
cool.
came,
Like,
yeah. My sister makes our swag for us. She's got a business in Maine. I reach out to her, I tell her what we need, and here it comes. So kind of try to keep it all in the family. There's
absolutely.
my latest New Leaf hat.
We got the truckers hats. We got the
Isn't that
seedlings
beautiful?
here. Just starting to
Man.
sprout. We talked some Maine. Obviously, I'm always mentioning to my audience that my in-laws are up in Maine. My wife's going to head up there in a couple of weeks to visit with them. I'm going to hang back and take care of this Tasmanian devil of a kitten that's just wreaking havoc all over my house. I
Yeah.
just noticed right before we started recording that he stole the cover from my mouse, the that covers the battery. So now I have to
Yes.
comb the house for this
Oh,
tiny
he's
little piece
cute.
of
I
plastic.
keep my eye on that
He's
one.
cute,
a
but
cute
man, he's sweet, but he
Yeah.
is the devil. We got some
Yeah,
more
we need-
merch here.
Yeah,
We got some
there's bagged up, ready to go.
And there's this how you can get it, like when you come to the market. Is this kind of how people are going to take it if they decide to purchase some to
Yeah,
go?
I harvest to order. So when I tell you it's fresh, I'm not picking it until you want it. So, and I do the bag that I do use for the greens. I've done some experimenting with shelf life here, and well over 2 weeks, as long as you keep that root ball moist and keep it in that bag. Yeah, sometimes when the weather's nice and the bugs aren't bad, we'll plant some seeds outside. About 80% of the time we do all the processes inside, but on some beautiful days we got to be out. That's so stand by for next spring. I grow garden starts as well. I start them the same way I do the plants that I plant on the wall, but then I will up pot those in 4-inch pots with some organic soil, keep them under some grow lights, get them, ship shape, and sell those at the markets too. One of the biggest pop-up markets we had was in the spring when I had all my garden starts. So we'll be doing that again this year. That's a lot of fun. I love helping people. I love helping people do this at their house.
Yes, very cool, very colorful. This is a little bit of a shot where you get to see Selma moving the panels over, which is kind of cool. I thought that was pretty neat too, getting to see those slide over. There you get your seedlings just starting to hatch there. There you have a delightful assortment of greens in one of those clamshell to-go containers.
Yeah.
So you can take those with you.
Herbs and blossoms. We're going to be ramping up a pretty big selection of edible flowers. That's some green butter. I grow 3 types of lettuce: green butter, red oak, and that Monte Carlo romaine for days and days.
I'm a big fan of that butter lettuce. Look at
Me
that
too.
giant wall of lettuce. I always say, I when I do these in the morning, it always makes me hungry. I had a couple of bites. I mean, I had a bagel earlier this morning. I had a couple of bites because I was doing some content down in Old Town at one of the restaurants, but I kind of took the rest of my lunch to go. I always say when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm making myself hungry. Never did I actually say that I would be making myself hungry looking at like a gigantic wall of lettuce, but it is making me hungry because, again, I know how it tastes. I mean, just guys, look at how beautiful this is. And this is where we're going to finish it up.
It is beautiful. I think produce is beautiful.
I mean, it's almost its own kind of flower, basically, right?
It really is. It really is. I will pull over hard for a roadside stand. So I'm hoping to reach the people in our community that feel the same way. So come on out to this roadside stand, but you got to come down that long dirt road.
Absolutely.
Yep. I sell those plate
flowers.
garnishes. Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to start growing some more inside.
I love
Yeah,
it. I
that's
love it.
beautiful. Yeah. Well, you'll have to come back sooner than
Oh
later,
yeah,
okay?
I'm definitely coming back. There's no question about it. So
It's
before
oyster
we,
season.
oh yeah, absolutely. So before we let everybody go, and I'm going to bring this back up here. I think this is probably the best thing to close with here. Again, there's Selma with New Leaf Produce. You can find them on Facebook at New Leaf Produce. You can find them on Instagram at New Leaf Produce. Let me flash this back off here and pull up again. We have the Facebook page here. I'll pull this back up. 843 252 3695. New Leaf Produce at iCloud.com. Again, Instagram, all one word, New Leaf Produce. The website, New Leaf Produce SC for South Carolina.com. And even on YouTube at New Leaf Produce. We're making it easy for you guys to find Selma and everybody. Actually, you know something? There's two. Is it 3695 or 8695?
3.
Oh, okay. Because so in the intro, there's a typo. We got to get that fixed. But
Yeah,
hyper
we do.
local, hydroponic, vertically farmed, clean roots and greens, based on St. Helena Island, from our farm to your table, serving local customers and restaurants. Open most Saturdays for the market on the farm. Anything
Right.
else before I let you go, Selma, that you want to share
Hey,
with our audience?
every now and again we have to take a Saturday off. So my social media manager is really on it. She'll push it out to our followers on Facebook and Instagram, even next door. If I have to be away, I don't cancel the day before. It would be something planned. So you
Yes.
can pretty much expect to find me. And come on out. I can't wait to meet you. All the
Follow
new
them
folks.
on their socials so that you could check out the market on the farm. I'm going to take a ride out one of these days. My wife and I occasionally get to shoot out to St. Helena to grab some Betos or some
Heck
locals.
yeah.
Sometimes I
Heck
like to do
yeah.
a little double dip and have a little bit of
Love
both, and usually end
both.
up taking some stuff to go on the way home. I also will make a stop at the kitchen in Beaufort. We've been trying to
Yes.
get Justin, the sushi dude, on here, Justin Patton. His schedule's been
Yeah.
a little bit crazy, but we're definitely going to get him on here talking about
He's a
that.
lot of fun.
He really is. He's the
He's a
best.
lot of
And
fun.
there's no better combination of some fresh sushi and
Mhm.
these absolutely delicious fresh greens. So Selma, listen,
Wow.
thank you so much for taking the
Thanks.
time. I know that you're super busy over there. Again, I'm going to say it for the umpteenth time. I had an absolute blast hanging out with you.
Me too, buddy.
Several weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to coming back out there. I'm going to bring the wife along this time. My mom, actually, I think I told you, she mentioned
Yeah.
that she wanted to come and check it out too. She wasn't able to that day when I
You
was
bring
out there,
Mom
but
out.
I'm going to definitely bring some reinforcements next time. And you and me and Catherine will get together soon for a little lunch
Love
as
it.
well.
I'm counting on it.
Awesome.
Don't wait too long.
I
You
won't,
be
I
well
promise.
over there on the
You
other side
too.
of the river.
All right, guys, that's Selma Davis with New Leaf Produce. Thank you guys for joining us. Go check her out. And as always, stay hungry, my friends.